I'd like to speak about the positive elements of the United States. I find it as a country to be very interesting. I'm a European myself, and I would like to see more positivity. I'm actually staying away from politics mostly. So this is going to be about different points that are rather broad, but hopefully you find it entertaining. The USA and Europe share a lot in terms of values and culture, given that most Americans, US Americans, do come from Europe, at least their ancestors do, and therefore a very strong influence of European values such as freedom and democracy that have been thriving in the United States for many years, decades, centuries, really. I have a lot of admiration, first and foremost, for the whole entrepreneurial spirit, as one can think of Silicon Valley right away when thinking of the United States and its innovations, its dynamic expression of this same entrepreneurial spirit I just mentioned. Technological giants are part of the landscape. So I also very much appreciate the whole Hollywood impact on the world, the media, the movies, the music, the series. I am very much a fan of that. I also, well, of course, think of the country as a big country, very much a lot of space, lots of resources, 350 million people who all speak the same language and are in the same country, in this melting pot of cultures. Well, we have our own patchwork of cultures in Europe, but not quite the same size and in terms of a country, and it's not like unified under the same flag, really, as a country. So I also appreciate the individuality that's so very key and central in freedom and personal freedom, and it's very much valued, this individualism, autonomy, personal responsibility. I see those elements as very, very key in understanding the country, but I find it to be much more pronounced than we have it here in Europe. Also, there is a lot of prosperity in terms of abundance, and I think people do have a very much greater freedom around the practice of their religious around their religious churches and parishes. So I also very much would like to stress for a short period of time the nuance approach, given that some aspects are not quite as good as all the others that I just talked about. The healthcare system, in comparison to what it could be, is extremely expensive. Health coverage and education, the access to higher education is extremely costly as well. And so, well, that's a few things I would like to bring to the table as well. But overall, a positive video in my in my books. I also do know Americans myself, spend a bit of time in the United States, was always fascinated by the generosity of spirit and the hospitality. Americans are very much similar to Europeans, aside from a few differences, cultural differences that have their own little quirks, let's say. But overall, an experience that I do very much recall with fondness whenever I think back on it. Also looking forward for more of those exchanges, and just my own conclusion on that is, let's bring in more transatlantic relations. Let's work on something where we understand one another, where there's a good exchange and a good and sincere appreciation for each other's contributions. So Americans do contribute to the world in a way that I do appreciate very much, as I have been expressing all video long. And I am inviting you guys to join the discussion, bring some comments, and maybe speak of elements that I might have missed out on in this short presentation on why Europeans do like Americans, US Americans, but Americans in general, of course, as well.